Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we are going to be returning to Panzer General, the 1994 classic that sort of created a subgenre in the strategy gaming universe. In this stream/episode, we are going to be returning to our Let's Play of the 1939 campaign. We've just completed the Fall of France scenario, where we defeated the enemy pretty decisively, but apparently not quick enough, maybe a turn or two behind what we needed to be at. And so as a result, we did not successfully decisively defeat France, which means there is no Operation Sea Lion 1941 or 1940 to occur. Instead, we are going to be given the choice of either participating in the Balkans campaigns of 1941 in the spring, or moving to the desert and fighting the North African campaign. Sorry, a little bit of a yawn there. It's late. I'm tired. We started late. But I will say that what I've been sort of advised in the chat of the previous video is that if I want to use the Air Force, which I've done a good job of building a pretty decent-sized Air Force, I think, if I want to use that effectively, I probably should go down the desert route because the weather's going to be bad in a lot of the eastern scenarios. That being said, I would like to invade Russia, so I think we're going to go down that route. That does mean we'll have to go through Yugoslavia first, however, so that'll probably be what we look at tonight. I doubt we'll get through multiple battles tonight because we started a little bit late, but we'll see. And yeah, this is another installment of Retro Weekdays. I guess Retro Wednesdays is when we're streaming it, but Retro Weekdays in terms of, you know, I haven't kept to a strict schedule on this thing, so...
We were pleased by your victory in France. Unfortunately, we did not have enough time to invade England last summer. First, we are preparing for operations next year against the British in North Africa, as well as against Yugoslavia and Greece. Your performance to date has been outstanding, and we will be happy to allow you to choose your next operation for yourself and your army.
And so at this point, again, I think my corps might be better situated to fight in North Africa. That being said, I feel like if I have, you know, let's put it this way. We were the key commander in the assault on Warsaw. We were put entirely in charge of the invasion of Norway. And we were the key commander in the invasion of France, both the Low Countries and the capture of Paris. If we're that senior of a figure, we're not going to be shunted off to North Africa to command effectively a reinforced division. I guess that's really all Rommel had at this stage, was a division, and then it grew a little bit but later on. But at the end of the day, it was like he was primarily commanding a German division. Whereas, like, if we're in the Balkans... and then the main invasion of Russia, like that feels like more along the lines of what we would actually be given command of after the successes that we've had. So strictly from a role-playing perspective, the Balkans makes more sense. And also just from the scenarios that we'd be playing, I'd be more interested in playing the Balkans, frankly, anyway. The North Africa campaign can lead you to a Palestine invasion and then actually invading Russia from the Caucasus. So you can end up back in Russia going down that path. But I'd rather just play through the Balkans, possibly even get to the invasion of Crete. So I think that's what we're going to go ahead and do.
Your next mission is to defeat the Yugoslav and Greek armies and force the British forever off the European mainland. You should capture your objectives by April 30th so that our upcoming invasion of Russia is not delayed. If you are able to complete your mission earlier, we may honor you with a command of our planned airborne assault on Crete.
Okay, so we're going with Yugoslavia. It doesn't really give you a lot of description of the actual assault on Yugoslavia, as opposed to some of the previous battles. But I have only played this one once or twice. And that was like 20 years ago, so I'm curious to see what this particular battle looks like. All right. Deploy your units. So the problem here is I can't zoom out. So I don't know where exactly the objectives are or how big this map is. It goes pretty far to the right. Jesus. Oh, so we're going to be assaulting out of Bulgaria, presumably, and there's some deployment zones here. Okay. Thessalonika's over here. Is Athens in this particular fight, too? Alright. So I'm assuming we're attacking right to left. We've also got some Italian forces here, presumably in... God, I wish I could zoom out. It's really frustrating to not be able to zoom out. Banja Luka, that's right along a roadway. We've got troops deployed there already. I think actually maybe I have to deploy almost all my troops to the... we got some Italian troops here. I might have to deploy all my troops to the east anyway. Maybe it's not even relevant where I decide to deploy. Alright, so first target is Belgrade, which we're apparently attacking from the south, which I guess if there's other objectives along this roadway moving north or east to west, I suppose putting a pioneer unit there makes sense. Maybe an infantry unit in this heavy terrain. We've got additional objectives further east and south. Actually, I need to upgrade some of these guys. Can we do that? Because as I understand it, the WWII 39 infantry are not very good units, and I don't know if we want to do it now or wait to upgrade till later. There's WWII 39 infantry, there's WWII 40 heavy infantry, which is a fairly cheap upgrade, but they're heavy infantry, so they might not be able to move as far. There's also bridge engineers, which are pretty expensive to upgrade. Now, I would imagine this battle will have a lot of need to cross rivers and things like that. So I don't know. Anyway, we've got that heavy infantry. We put 2 here. Let's put 2 over toward this other objective here, toward Krajovic, or however you pronounce that. Or maybe 1. We've got a paratrooper unit also, which we'll deploy on this airfield. Got a couple of them, actually. And then we go to our tank units. Should we have deployed them over further south? Perhaps we should have. Panzer 3G will deploy 1 in the south here. 1 with these guys. And then 1 up in the north toward Belgrade, I think. I really don't know where the heaviest resistance is going to be. Panzer 4D down there. Panzer 4D on the assault on Belgrade. Then I guess we'll deploy Panzer 4D further south as well. Maybe 2. We got a recon car. We've got some self-propelled artillery. And some regular artillery, which again, I'm kind of staggering and deploying a little bit of everything everywhere. I'm kind of inclined to switch that out. So we'll put the artillery in front, because I'm assuming the Yugoslavians aren't going to be on the offensive right away, and then that way it'll be in range of artillery on Belgrade itself. Although I'd rather swap these 2 infantry units here. Are these all ground units? We'll keep our fighters in groups of 2, I suppose. Do I really only have the 2 fighters? I thought I had more than that. We'll have 1 Stuka up north near Belgrade also. I thought I had more fighters than this. Oh, I do. Okay. It is Yugoslavia, MST. All right, so we got 25 turns, and now that we've deployed everything, let's take a look at the strategic map, because that makes sense. All right, so we've got our 4 ground units and then our air units up here supporting the assault on Belgrade. Then we've got to probably move west from Belgrade to drive toward Kitnua. And then south toward Banja Luka, and then also Novigrad. Now, there are some German forces that are coming from the north that are not part of my corps, which may be able to do some of that work. We've also got some Italian units along the coast. So there are other forces that can move directly on those objectives. And then I suppose from there we move south to try and take Sarajevo. That's probably the goal for those 4 northern units, and then also those non-core units. The core units in the center of the right flank attack. This is ours, right? Yeah. The core units in the center of the right flank attack probably go here for Krajuvek, and then they'll take this road directly south to get toward Kukas. And then the southern force will just move directly on the Greek objectives down here at Thessalonica, Laurasia, and then eventually as far south as Athens and the southern tip of Greece. There's a lot of forces in this battle. A lot of them aren't even at my core units, so we'll have to see where it makes sense to sacrifice things, where it makes sense to invest and reinforce in things. I'm not really sure the answer of that, but we'll see. All right, so I don't think Belgrade, it doesn't appear to have any. So first things first, let's go ahead and bombard this enemy artillery. We'll keep the artillery in place. We've got a large Italian Air Force here. And we've also got some warships, so maybe we've got the Italian Navy might be able to bombard some of those coastal objectives to help those units out. The Italian units are really crappy in this, as maybe you would expect from this kind of a game, but they actually have some decent dive bombers, though, I believe, if memory serves. Oh my god, I'm just trying to get back to my troops outside Belgrade. I want to take that first. Or at least weaken the enemy enough to be able to take it. But there's so many units to get back there. Okay. So, oh, we're not even there. Whatever, I'll just move. Alright, so we weaken that enemy artillery. Oh, shoot. Undo that. I didn't mean to click that. Can we move our infantry out this way and they can just attack the artillery directly? Nice. So they managed to destroy that enemy artillery. Move our Stukas out here in front to knock out the enemy infantry in front. Move our pioneer troops forward here. Well, actually we're in the open here, so let's move our armor, see what our armor can do. Alright, that Panzer 4D managed to destroy the enemy. And this Panzer 3 could go take that airfield, so before we do that, let's move our pioneers in here. They're overstrength at 11. They managed to destroy that enemy infantry. And then the Panzer 3Gs... Actually, undo. Let's switch this up. Let's get the strategic bombers here. Or the level bombers. They'll bomb Belgrade to weaken it. And then the Panzers will move in to take the airfield. I tried to see if they could get a lucky assault and get a... You know, we bombed them. So their entrenchments were weakened, but we still got a rugged defense against us. And so we lost half our strength without inflicting losses. Nonetheless, taking the airfield's nice, because these guys will immediately, at least the ones adjacent to the airfield, not the... One of the BFs won't, but the other guys will all refuel and rearm. And I'm hopeful that this enemy infantry won't try and leave Belgrade, so by reducing this city basically off the bat, we shouldn't have any risk of the enemy building up strength and building up its defense in front of Belgrade, so that's good. Next objective here for our core forces are over here, Krajovik, or however you pronounce that. Alright, so we can bombard there. We've got some Bulgarian infantry who can... Let's do this. Let's go ahead and use the artillery. We'll weaken that infantry. We'll use our Bulgarian troops to move forward, and they immediately run into a rugged defense. Great. Okay. So our Bulgarians run into a rugged defense. Our Stukas come in here and mop up a bit. We'll get some strafing runs from our BFs. I don't really know what to expect from the enemy in terms of air power. I don't really want to leave my Stukas undefended, but I also don't really know what to expect. Pioneer. These are not core units. Can we use the PZ-4s? They'll flank and nearly destroy that enemy infantry. These guys will push forward. They're going to run into enemy artillery defensive fire, but it's not good enough to do anything, so we wipe out that infantry unit. We'll move these tanks. I don't want to move them south too much because I don't want to open myself up to enemy anti-tank fire, but let's move this armor unit south. So I'm assuming the infantry can close with this objective on the next turn, and then we can immediately move south toward Kukas as our next objective. This force here is going to need to advance south toward Greece, so, you know, we probably want to take some of these objectives, but we need to be mindful of... kind of mindful of what direction we're expending our energy. So let's go ahead and use this self-propelled. They'll bombard that infantry. They'll move south. Undo that. Alright, these guys will move in front, I think. Let's wait. So they can move in front of that infantry unit, but let's just... That is not what I wanted to do. Okay. Alright, I'm going to assume the enemy infantry in those towns are going to stay in place and won't want to come after me. Let's go ahead and take this airfield. We'll just hold the airfield. I'm assuming that enemy artillery will withdraw. Alright. The Bulgarian infantry is not as good. Not as good at all. So I don't want them to just die to no purpose. Okay, so we'll move those guys south toward Greece. And we've still got the paratroopers. I don't know how to feel about them without knowing where the enemy air power is. So we've taken, or we've threatened Belgrade from the east. The other objective in the north is Kutnia. I think we just try and drive south and take Boska and then maybe Siska. So we'll move that self-propelled artillery here to that end. These guys are not core forces, so I'd say we can be a little bit less careful with them, but only within reason. I don't just want to throw them away. So we'll take that town. Nice. So those guys badly beat up that infantry here in this town. Rugged defense, but we still managed to destroy them. Alright, so we take 2 towns up here in northern Yugoslavia, pushing the way open toward Kutnia in the north. I don't even know if we want to move the troops in the north from Belgrade in that direction. Presumably our left flank at Karlovac is a little bit open, but we do have some Italian troops in that general vicinity. And there's a good amount of Yugoslav artillery over there. I don't know if I trust the Italians enough to take that. We'll see. Maybe we can take that there. And then we're going to move the rest of these troops along this coastal road, because there will be objectives down here, down toward Novigrad. And the Italian Navy should be able to help with some of this. So... no sign of enemy troops yet. I don't know how far south we can get before we run into them. I don't want to set my troops up on... oh, no. Well, I just wasted that unit. I was not going to leave them mounted up on ships. It's nice that the Italians at least... oh, shit. I just said I don't want them to die, and I just drove them right adjacent to enemy infantry. Alright, we got 1 dive bomber that can help. Maybe they'll pull back. Another BA-65 can go over here and hit this enemy artillery. Okay. Now we've got 1 RE-2000 fighter aircraft. We'll provide some air cover for the furthest south of the dive bombers. I guess we can throw this guy in a transport just because he doesn't have trucks, and I don't want to pay for him to have trucks. Same for Naples. I don't even know why we've got troops in Naples. Like, they're on the wrong side of the coast. Why even simulate that in this? You know? Where's this? Messina? Really? They've got the entire, like, Italian peninsula modeled here? At least we got a good chunk of an air force out this way. Okay. Alright, so we got some battleships. We can sail up. I think we're all down near Sicily. Again, I wish this wasn't also zoomed in. It would be easier to tell what to do. I'm assuming the British fleet isn't deployed here quite yet. We've got so much Italian air power that it's pretty reassuring. Meanwhile, we do have some British armor down here in Greece. Okay. Interesting that the Italians have some pretty experienced armor formations. Like 3 stars on that one. I will take experienced Italian armor ripping up British armor. Please. Alright, we just destroyed a British armored unit. Does look like we're going to probably get attacked by British infantry on the flank here. But we at least got one of them. Then we can use this Italian infantry to attack. Really? 3-1 against? What if our armor goes after the, there we go. The artillery pieces. Alright, let's get infantry into this rough terrain. I don't particularly want to attack. Holy crap, they've got a lot of artillery. Alright. We're gonna need... The Italians in the south are totally gonna get overrun. British heavy infantry is probably going to rip apart those Italian tanks. I think we've maxed out on the amount of amphibious stuff we can do here. So the Italian... So these guys got to cross. Is there an airfield anywhere around here they can base out of? No. Okay, well that's going to be tricky. No airfields for the Italians to base out of. Do they at least carry a decent amount of fuel? I mean, the strategic bombers do, but I'm going to guess the enemy's going to come at us with pretty strong British air forces, which will probably destroy the Italian fighters. Oh, shit, there's a navy. Oh, god damn it. All right, so we got heavy cruisers, battle cruisers, and light cruisers. I wish I had... At least the Italian heavy bombers have decent naval attacks. Right? No, they don't? Okay. Fuck. Well. Let's go ahead and weaken this British fleet before the Italians show up, or at least try to weaken it. Do some damage to them, perhaps, before the... Italian fleet sails up that way, because that is the direction we're sailing the Italian fleet, for what it's worth. Alright, there's a lot of Italian troops here. I don't know that there's anything for me to do with them. So we do have infantry that we can't deploy, because they've used kind of all their ship points. I'm inclined... We've got 3 corps slots. Now, do the Bulgarians count as corps? I don't think so. I don't know if the Italian units count as corps or not. Okay, so I think the P-108 actually was one of those bombers I flew, and that's got a very good naval attack rating. I just didn't attack anything with it because I didn't have anything in sight. But what about a German-level bomber unit here? You know, if I was going to worry about naval bombers, I probably should have made sure to go with the North Africa campaign, but... Alright, let's go with the HE-111H2. Can that deploy anywhere out of the Italian fields? No. It's got to deploy out of German-held fields. Well, then we'll hold off on that for now. And I think we'll end this first turn. I don't really know what I'm doing here, so we could lose this battle. This is like the second time I've ever fought this battle, and again, the first was a long time ago, but... Alright, we got some British Air Forces out of Greece flying in here to engage our boys. The Italians, I know, are in for a rough awakening. I think the German troops in the north are probably far enough away from any real enemy threats, but the Italians in Albania are fucked, probably. Yeah, there's one Italian unit already destroyed, another one being driven back. I was pretty pleased we destroyed that one British tank unit, frankly. Alright. So... Alright, let's start getting these guys in the saddle moving south. Toward, Kugis. Alright, got their artillery that's defending it. Our Pioneer unit will move forward here and attack the city directly. Whoa! They just nuked them. Okay, so I think we need to head south now. Maybe toward Ivangrad. I want that town to be part of our territory. I'd like to take this other objective here, and then we can move south and join the Italians near Albania, because they're going to need the help. It's a little bit of a risk to move the Bulgarians by truck there, but the hope is we can take that objective next turn. Do we know where enemy fighter aircraft are? Rugged defense? My ass. Move back up to that airfield. You took out their artillery. Rugged defense. Alright, scope key is ours. We took that. They do have a little bit of strength around there. Okay, can we... I'll do that. At the very least, we got rid of one of their entrenchments. I didn't want to take those casualties on our core unit, but... We at least took the town of Pechovo, or however you pronounce that. God, these Greek units are so well dug in. I'm gonna have to spend some prestige to make sure my units don't get, you know, destroyed. What are we going for? This town? What's it called? Scotter? How dug in are they? 4? Then you've got Bar up here is the next objective. It's a coastal one. In theory, our navy could help us there, but... Alright, can my armor go finish these guys off? Apparently not. Oops, don't do that. Alright, finished off that enemy anti-tank, or anti-artillery, that is. Did we already take Belgrade? Apparently not. What are these guys doing over here? They're too far away to hit them. So that enemy infantry looks like it'll escape without too much damage. At least the Italians advancing south weren't quite obliterated yet. Some of these enemy units are partisans, interestingly enough. Oh, we're going for here, Kutna, right? Alright, they attacked my armor only is... Oh no, they didn't, never mind. It's hard to keep track of all these units. Alright, let's advance them west. We'll advance the Stuka toward Valjevo. Playing a little bit of the long game here, or the... Not long game, kind of the short game? I don't know. I'm trying to set myself up for kind of a breakout. So we'll go with the Pioneers here to obliterate the enemy. This armor unit will move into Belgrade to take it. That infantry advances. I was hoping they'd push the enemy out of town. They did not. The enemy held firm. And unfortunately, that means I can't take Valjevo this turn, which was my objective. But at the very least, we took Belgrade. Now, we've still got the other troops up in the north still to handle. Again, this is a very... Because of the way that units are positioned in this map, I imagine it's a very confusing battle to try and follow. Okay. So we can move the self-propelled gun over here to help with the taking of Kutina next turn. And start to weaken the Banja Luka, which it looks like it's very well defended. let's use this Italian. The Italian infantry might suck, but at least they've got decent artillery. Wow, that attack did not go well. Okay. The British? No. Or wait, are they? Yeah. All right. Ow! Marched right into unidentified enemy guns. That's not great. I'm not going to spend prestige elite on like elite reinforcements for the Italians because they're just not. I don't want to say they're not important enough, but they're not good enough. But I will at least do basic reinforcements for some of their units where I need it. Really? Rugged defense. No hope for anything good. Is Bar unoccupied? Where's the RAF? I don't see any enemy infantry up in the north. Which I suppose is good. Or air power in the north. I'm a little nervous about deploying my paratroopers anywhere, though. Alright, so their navy's here. We've got this one naval unit that's very good. Let's go with, what is this, a mosquito? Mosquitoes are dangerous. I know that much. And they've got a spit. I don't think the Italian Air Force will fare well against either, frankly. The goddamn mosquito. Yeah, we're trying to weaken the enemy navy up before ours shows up. I don't particularly want to fight enemy air power with the Italian fleet, or the Italian air power. That's not a recipe for success. Our fleet is still not in range. Alright, we got a handful of troops on ships. I don't have the amphibious strength to bring more across right now. I also don't really have the fuel supply on these 109s to push out way ahead without airfields close by. We need to take some more airfields. Well, we got one down here in the south. Alright, let's fly our fighters down that way. These overstrength boys can go ahead and hit this infantry and nearly destroy them anyway. I don't think the enemy fighters can get up to engage ours from where they're at anyway. Yep. Alright, so that's probably it. I don't want to quite do anything else yet. Let's end the turn. See what happens. 24 turns left. Allied turn number 2 coming up. Oh, they got more fighters, as you would expect. They're going to wreck the Italian Air Force, probably. Their mosquitoes will probably destroy our artillery, and then their infantry will mop up. There we go. We got a nice defensive artillery advantage there. One of our units got destroyed. Another unit got destroyed. Another unit got destroyed. Fortunately, I think all the units lost so far are non-core units. They're basically auxiliary units that we don't have to worry about carrying over. But still, a lot of casualties early on. Very bloody affair. All right, let's go check. They've got, what? 1 Spit 2, 2 Spit 2s. Well, it said 0 to 3, and it was adjacent to an enemy fighter, so I was hoping that meant that the enemy would not intercept us. I guess I hoped wrong. So we'll pull that good naval bomber back. Can we really not even dent their mosquitoes here? All right, let's the forecast was wrong. We lost worse. Again, I don't want to spend too much prestige on units I can't do anything with long term. I'll keep pressing the enemy artillery, making them spend, theoretically making them spend prestige on stuff that they'd rather not. Alright, we finish off that enemy in air power. And we're going for Novigrad. Let's move our transport there so they can unload next turn. Keeping my troops on trucks, hopefully far enough away from the enemy that they're not an easy target. Are these guys partisans? Yeah, they are. Okay. It's like, what are they doing that they're such a threat? Alright, so we're going to link up with the Italians there most likely. So let's get those guys back toward the coast. I'd rather the infantry move first. Okay. Nice. Can they move anywhere to help? I suppose they can move out this way. Nice. They surrender. Units, when they have nowhere to retreat to, will sometimes surrender in this game. Alright, let's move this artillery north, because I don't think we're going to need it after this turn. Up toward Kutnia. And they won't. We took that objective. Okay. That town is ours. The big problem here is with the AI building so many units compared to my experience with them on maybe easy difficulty. It does pose a challenge where they may, you know, counterattack in multiple locations that you don't predict. Which is why it feels like you've got to hunt down every single town and take that. Alright, they don't have a lot of fuel left. Well, they don't have a lot of fuel because they're 109s. I need more frickin' airfields. Gamble and do an assault? No, it's not worth it. We won't take it this turn, and most likely they'll... If they attack me, it'll go better for us, I think. How much fuel do they have left after that sortie? Enough to get back. Alright, these guys are at full. I think I'll start flying them over this way. Also, the other thing is if I can get them toward another airfield, we can shift them east. And then they can potentially help with the enemy air force that we've started to deal with. That mostly the Italians have had to deal with so far. Okay, rugged defense, doesn't matter. Elite reinforcements for that core unit of ours. Alright. Then we push us off their defensive line. Well, that's not good. We may have to deploy some... Let's do this. I was going to say, we may have to deploy some additional units in the south there. There we go. Bulgarian infantry doing good work, knocking the enemy defenders out of this objective town, and then we were able to take it from them. Meanwhile, our air power nearly destroyed an entire pocket of enemy troops to the east. So that's a very good result. Okay, I would like to take Ivangrad. I don't know how much I want to deploy in that direction, but... let's go to the strategic map real quick and just see what we're looking at, where our concentrations have sort of grouped up. So in the north, we took Belgrade, and we are driving west. That drive makes sense. That's where the roads lead. We can clear out the enemy in that direction. Make sure there's no enemy towns in our rear that can form up new troops. We've kind of already done that. And then we can push south to link up with the Italians in the north, driving on Banja Luka, and also along the coast. And maybe make a drive in towards Sarajevo. I think that drive makes sense. In the center, we're a little bit more scattered. We've got that one armored unit moving west. Really, it's just these two towns of Ivangrad and Guzny before you get to Sarajevo further west. So really, I think these troops, for the most part, need to drive south. So the troops at Kragnovec probably should drive south, because that's really where the rest of the enemy is going to be located. That's where this fight's going to form up, is this, where the Italians are basically getting overrun near the coast. This Greek resistance here. So we need to drive south. But this is actually a pretty long battle, so we're going to go ahead and wrap this video up here and chop this into a few pieces, and we'll finish the Battle of Yugoslavia in a later video. Until then, however, this is the Historical Gamer saying once again thank you very much for watching, and until next time, I'm out.